This fish is notorious for fighting. In fact, they do have fighting in their name. So it makes you wonder, how can a fish like this mate without hurting each other? To answer all that, this is how these two betta splendens, in a controlled environment, went from this to this and all the way to this. Presenting their story, this is your Tankmate. So I selected a male and a female who's ready to spawn and introduced them to each other. But still, there's a see-through barrier in between them. So there's just enough tension, but they cannot physically harm each other. This is a necessary precaution, because even though they are already in the same tank, they are not ready to mate yet. So we gotta leave them alone for a while. And just like that, the first part went really well. He obviously likes what he sees, so he has started gulping air and mixing it with his mucus to build what we call a bubble nest. For them, it's just like a floating incubator to keep their eggs. In the wild, bettas come from warm, shallow waters where there is not much oxygen. But adult bettas can handle these waters just fine, thanks to some special adaptation called the labyrinth organ. So with the help of this bubble nest, they can also keep the eggs and later the babies safe and oxygenated during the early stages until the babies grow their own labyrinth organs. And now, all the eggs are safely back in the nest. This is when the male betta, aka the new dad, switches into full guardian mode. And at this stage, he can become extremely protective and aggressive. So it's safe to move the female into a secure tank of her own. But his watch is only just beginning. So he hovers right under the nest. It's in his instinct to guard the eggs from predators like insects or other fish he might encounter in the wild. And just like that, he has suddenly decided to move the eggs to a different corner of the tank. Well, this kind of behavior is actually pretty normal. Unlike us, he's aware of the oxygen levels, angle of the light, and the temperature differences of the water. And he is constantly searching for the most optimal spot to keep the eggs. So he must have felt this corner is the right spot for the nest. Not just that, he even checks the eggs one by one, removing the bad ones and cleaning the good ones with his mouth. He's just doing his best to keep them healthy. But anyhow, now he's gotta build the whole nest all over again. Just like that, his workload has gone way up. These babies are still unable to stay horizontal because their swim bladders haven't fully developed just yet. They mostly just wiggle around, ending up in all different corners of the tank. So it's his job to pick them up and bring them back to the nest. Again and again. The good thing is, I don't have to feed them just yet. They still carry and feed on the egg yolk they were hatched from. So I can just leave them to continue their wiggle thing on their own. Not much happening really. They're still wiggling around, trying to stay horizontal. They must be thinking what they want to be when they grow up. Finally, their swim bladders have somewhat developed. They can stay a bit horizontal now, but still they look a bit lost. So it's better to give them a couple or more days while I also figure out what I'm going to feed them next. Good news to all the survivors who've made it this far. The hardest part is now over. Now they have some control over their bodies. They can slowly move around and start hunting for themselves. And just like that, it's time to start the feeding season. Even if you didn't have any idea whose babies are these, now you can probably start to recognize them. Because you can see some red spots coming on. And they are also now ready to move on to dry food, which should make things much easier for me and also for a lot of brand shrimp. There you are, lot of red fighter fish. And they all were once eggs, you know. Maybe that's your answer. Thanks for watching.